How is everybody doing? Welcome to Gnarly Times, and I'm Gnarly Vato. And we're going to continue on with the story of Nate Buford. This is Big Nate right there. When Nate passed away in 2006, it was on and cracking in Porterville. Gangs ruled the whole city. You couldn't go anywhere without bumping into someone from some side of town or some other town. At the time, it was red on red crimes. You know, everybody doing drugs, meth, a lot of coke, a lot of alcohol. You know, there's a time when Nate got out, Nate got out I think it was the first time. There he is right there. My brother right there. When he was out the first time, after doing 5.5 years or 6.5 years, he was out 3 months. And when this picture was taken, we hadn't seen each other since we were 15 years old, out in the streets. And then at the time, when Nate got out, he had probably like bank account full of cash, and he bought a brand new ride, Blazer, system, everything. When we were younger in high school, Big Nate used to tell us when he turned 18 that he was gonna get a large amount of money. He was getting money from the train company. So he was promised money at 18 years old. But when we were juveniles, in juvenile hall, fighting our case, they were trying him as adults, so he got a real lawyer. He spent a lot of his money that he's supposed to get. I'm not sure the amount of money he had or he was receiving, but when he got out, he was a baller. About 3 months later, after he got out, this other homeboy got out. And we hadn't seen him in years either. And he just represented the town. He didn't represent no sides. And he got out. A lot of homeboy went and check him out. Well, they gave him a knife the second day he was out. So the homeboy, he was tripping because he just got out and like, I don't need this knife. What I need this for? So he gave it to me. So I was like, all right, let's do this. And I lived right across, right there in Porterville by the police station. And right by the railroad tracks. And he gave me a knife, so I was like, oh yeah, thanks, appreciate it. You know? You never know. Mexican judo. Well, about a month later, he came by and he asked if he could have that knife back. And I was like, what are you talking about? You just gave it to me. But I wasn't tripping. I had plenty more, so I gave it back to him. Well, him and my brother and my homeboy Big Nate, three of them, and this other homeboy that's in the picture right here, pushing the weights. This fool, five of us were gonna go out on Friday, go cruising in Porterville. And we're all from the west side besides one guy, you know. Well, they're gonna pick me up that night, and Big Nate had a Blazer, and he had spent crazy amount of money for the system. It was German made. It was clear glass or plexiglass up top. It was pretty crazy. Well, when they came to pick me up, my old lady got crazy. She started tripping. Because that would have been the first time we ever got together since we were 15. And we're 23, grown men now. Well, she was on my cheeks, wouldn't let me go, holding my jacket. Well, I ended up staying, you know, because I wouldn't hear the end of it. Now it is. Well, Big Nate, my brother, and the other homeboy who just got out, that gave me the knife, and I gave back to, well, they went out cruising. And they ran into some broads that they knew when we were younger, you know. So now we're older, wiser, meaner. Well, they end up, we're gonna hook up with these broads. So they gave the address to these. They gave the address to my brother and them. Well, my brother and them, four of them, there's five, by the end there's four. So they go chilling. Next thing you know, these homeboys come by. Well, they rolled through because they had seen the broads earlier before my brother and my homeboys. And we're gonna get at them. Well, long story short, these fools came back 3 times. And towards the end, and not to mention, this was on Easter Sunday. Well, when you know Easter, what goes down is crazy. Wow. Even in Mooney's Grove, that's our spot, cruising spot, Easter. Well, I never went with them, luckily. Well, however, these guys come, these other guys go check out these broads, and my brother and my homies are there. Well, these guys we didn't get into, we didn't get along with. There's 3 brothers. And, well, we got into it with all of them at one time or another. And they were brawlers, too. No one really liked them. At one time, they broke into a Cayman, stole the guns, hid them in the river. Well, these guys didn't come back 3 times. And towards the end, it was like 3, 4 in the morning. They came drunk, causing problems. Well, Big Nate Dog and my brother was there, and everybody was on parole, and the other homeboy just got out with the knife. Well, we were young, 23 years old at the time. Well, by the third, I wasn't there. This is a story I was told by everybody. Well, when the last time they came, they came in like 2 carloads, and there was about 8 to 10 guys. Well, my brother was crashed out, and the other homeboys were there, right? And prior to that, my brother went and picked up a big old palo, big old stick, just in case. And he has a prior history, because that's what sent him to YA. His committing offense. Well, when these guys were there, they're getting crazy, right? And one of them was drunk. He was older, 25 years old. And he, come to find out, he just had a kid, like 3 months old. Well, words were exchanged. Something happened. Boom, these guys jumped on my homeboy, my brother, the other homeboy, big name, the other homeboy. Well, the other homeboy started brawling one-on-one with one of these fools, and they attacked Nate Dogg, right? Well, my brother was getting dressed, and he comes running out, and fools started running and shit, jumped the fence, and he was hitting them in their back. Fools were crawling away, so they started fleeing. Well, Big Nate Dogg, when he was attacked, like 5 fools jumped on him, and well, he got beat up. They hit him over the head with a beer bottle, busted his head open. Well, when this was going down, the 2 broads come out and watching all this, trying to stop all the chaos and commotion, and well, these fools, they end up tussling. The homeboy just got out with the knife, and this other fool, right? He was drunk. He was in the slingshot, and he kept mugging my homeboy the whole time. And my homeboy's got a YA. You gotta think about that. So anyways, they're tussling. They end up falling on the ground, and they were saying it was like that movie, The Outsiders, you know, where everybody, one guy gets up, the other one's on the ground, you know. They hand the knife, then they toss it to somebody else. When they toss it to a few other people, then they threw the knife in the yard, you know, to get rid of it. But anyways, one of their homeboys ended up dying, and he was 25 years old. Left behind a 3-year-old kid, what I understood. And you know, it's sad to say, like, it was sad to hear that on Easter. And every Easter since then, since 2001, I always think of that guy. Not knowing his name, you know, I think about that little baby. You know, well, they ended up dying, right? So during the time my homeboy fled, my brothers fled, they fled my house, right? And I lived by the police station, a 2-story apartment. It was old. And I heard running up the stairs, because I used to run up all the time, and I knew what it sounded like. So I heard something like, what the heck? Well, it was my brother. And I opened the door, and it was my brother. And the look in his eyes, I seen that eyes when we were a kid, you know? Like I killed him, you know? Yeah, duh. And, well, my homeboy, they had dropped the other homeboy off, whose knife it was, who got in the tussle. And when Big Nate came in the pad, he dropped the car off down the street. And he came in my pad, and he couldn't breathe, you know? Well, we ended up stitching him up. He got his head busted, you know, and he had like 4 or 5 puncture wounds on his back. Phillips did, you know, the X. You know, he was a tough dude. But even that almost took him out. You know, and this story is really about crazy situations you always gotta be aware of. You know, you think you're gonna go do something happy and fun, and next thing you know, someone's done. You know? So luckily that day my wife kept me away from that night, an incident. But it was crazy. I was left alone. All my homies left. My brother, he had just got out. You know, he was about a year out. He ended up going back. But that's when Nate Dogg went back and did 2.5 years. You know, after being out, yeah, that's what it was, 3 months, and the other homie was out 3 weeks. So it was crazy the way life is, you know. Now, the homeboy who got busted, who did the stabbing, they ended up finding the case. Big Nate took a plea bargain, which was accessory to murder, because he drove away from the scene, because he was bleeding. And then the other homie got manslaughter, or something like that. They're trying to give him an L, but Nate took an extra. Nate Dogg had 2 L's, two strikes. Yeah, he had 2 strikes. You know, so he took an extra strike so the homeboy didn't get caught up and do life. You know. Well, the homeboy did 13 years and got out. He's been out for a while. I haven't been in contact with him, but I hear he's doing pretty good. You know. But we gotta watch situations we be in, people we encounter. Sometimes we're led into traps. You know. Gotta be aware. Keep your head on a swivel. Well, this is another story of Big Nate Dogg. You know, he got out, then he went back, and he would get caught in some, you know, crazy luck. Well, till next time, I'm Gnarly Vato, and these are gnarly times.